Hello everyone, welcome back to the Will the Reaper channel. In today's video, I'm going to be seeing which Clash Royale cards would truly be good at playing Clash Royale, all the way from pro player to high elo, to mid elo, to low elo, to just not even being able to play the game, because they would probably break the phone or something. And it's simple. I'm just going to be evaluating it based on how meta they are, their experience, and other things such as if they're able to communicate with each other, since some of the cards have multiple people and they could get better strategies. So starting off, we have the skeletons. There's three of them. They can communicate with each other. I'm sure one of them is going to have a great way to find new metas. So I think that the three skeletons, if they devoted their lives to playing Clash Royale, I think they can realistically be pro players. Yeah, they seem very dedicated to what they do. So they all three of them dedicate their lives to Clash Royale. They can play. Also, they can like buy gloves to tap the phone. So Bomber is like a skeleton. I feel like he's smarter than the average skeleton, but there's not three of them, so it's not like he can really collaborate with people. I'd say he'd be high elo though. He looks very smart. So yeah, goblins. Okay, goblins. There's four of them, so they could all collaborate with each other. I feel like they'd kind of have like a power imbalance, and they would just have like run the worst decks. I feel like they would all run hyper bait, and they'd have really high elos, but they'd be really annoying. So I don't think they'd be pro players, but I think they'd have high elos playing like hyper bait or something stupid like that. Um, Spear goblins. Well, there's one less of them, and they seem like they're smarter because they have to utilize they have to utilize range weapons and stuff like that. So I feel like they'd be pro players. There's they can all communicate with each other and stuff like that. But unlike the regular goblins, I feel like the spear goblins are just like not more meta, but I feel like they're smarter. So I feel like they'd be pro players. Zap spell cannot play. The knight, honestly, I feel like the knight would be mid elo. He seems like he's on the older side. I don't think he would really understand how the game is played. To sit there on a phone and swipe cards and stuff. I think he'd be mid elo. I don't think he'd be like horrible at the game. Like my uncle and I have been playing this game for the past 8 years. My uncle is pretty good. Um, he's actually like high elo. He's like 10,000 plus trophies, which actually I don't know if that's high elo because it's not even ranked. I'm not even ranked. But I guess 10,000 trophies is like technically like mid elo. So I could see Knight reaching like 8 to 10,000, but nothing higher than that. Up next, we have archers. Now, archers, I'm not saying that they'd be bad at the game by any means. I'm saying I think they'd have low elo because I don't think they'd be interested in Clash Royale. It's not because they're girls or anything. I'm not saying girls don't like video games. Not saying that, don't call me sexist. I'm just saying they're very smart. And I feel like they would know that they could have much better use of their time than playing a video game. So they'd probably play like maybe like a few days, maybe in a couple weeks, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, we're just done with this. We're gonna find better use of our time." Um, so yeah, low elo, I'd say. Minions. There's three of them. They can all communicate. I think they'd be mid elo. I don't know. I feel like I mean they are meta. Don't get me wrong. So they would probably be experienced to many battles. They'd have that battle IQ, battle experience, but um, I feel like they'd be kind of slow at pointing and clicking, stuff like that. So I don't know. Mid elo. This is my opinion, by the way. Arrows, cannon, Tesla, motor. They can't play the game, unfortunately. Barbarians. There's five of them. They. I also feel like similarly to archers, they wouldn't really have much of an interest in playing, and I feel like they'd break the phones. Actually, I feel like they'd all get cell phones. They'd all start playing, and the second they lose, they're gonna break it, stomp on it, and then like go eat roast beef or something like that. I don't know. Minion horde. Okay, so minion horde. There's six of them where they can communicate with each other. But despite maybe being on the slower side, because I mean, look at their fingers, right? Like they have like the gloves on and stuff. I feel like the gloves would really like restrict how well you can, point and click. Um, but if there's six of them, like they might be slower pointing and clicking, but they can definitely minus voice crack. They could definitely communicate and find the best algorithm. or meta. Tombstone. I mean, the Tombstone can summon skeletons, but the Tombstone itself just cannot play the game. Musketeer. Uh, Musketeer will put high elo. She's very meta. Um, I feel like she'd be able to build a deck that includes her, and she'd probably know exactly what to use. Probably like Hog Rider, Mini P.E.K.K.A, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I feel like she would just be like high elo. She seems younger than the knight, maybe like 20s or 30s or something. So she would definitely be able to play the game efficiently without being like, whoa, what's a home button on an iPhone? So high elo. Valkyrie, Valkyrie, I feel Valkyrie's also high elo. As long as she doesn't break the iPhone like the barbarians, she seems to be very smart and yeah, she's very meta, so she would be able to know what to do. Hog Rider's also meta. Um, I feel like mid elo because if he's definitely gonna want to be with his hog the entire time. And if he starts playing while he's riding the hog, it's not going to end well. You can't really do two things at once. But still, I feel like he would definitely go far. But with his hog always being around and like him riding it, I don't know. Mid elo. I'm not basing this off of Clash of Rama, by the way. I know some skeletons can talk with Clash of Rama. I know that the hog is like very chill. Well, like I'm like no, I'm just basing it off of like my experience. So sorry about that, guys. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A would be a pro player. He's like a young kid. He seems very devoted. If instead of obsessing over pancakes, he obsessed over playing Clash Royale, he could be a pro player. But again, it's transitioning him from pancakes into Clash Royale. Yeah. And we give him a mouse and a laptop because his metal fingers would not work well with an iPhone. Fireball, Bomb Tower, Goblin Hut, they cannot play the game, they're just buildings. Up next, we have Giant, who does not seem to be the smartest guy. And like Toy Freddy says in Ultimate Custom Night, my fingers are too big for the buttons. And so I don't think he'd be able to really hold an iPhone or a mouse efficiently. But if he were to talk to somebody, maybe he like has like a skeleton friend or something like that. I don't think he would give the best advice. So mid elo. Wizard, similarly to the knight, actually kind of like the archers. I feel like he could be really good at the game, but I feel like he'd be way too involved with sorcery to want to do anything with Clash Royale. But you know what? Okay, I can't say that. I'm gonna say he's a pro player. I mean, he is a wizard. He'd be a wizard at the game. Uh, so yeah, maybe high elo. Um, yeah, maybe like the 14,000 trophy mark because once you get good at the game, you don't use wizard anymore. So all right. Inferno Tower, Rocket, Elixir Collector, Barbarian Hut, Mirror, Rage. They can all, unfortunately, not play the game. Skeleton Army. Similarly to the skeletons, if there's 13 of them, they could all effectively communicate, and they would just be very pro at the game. They could all find the best meta. Goblin Barrel is a spell; it cannot play the game. Now, Baby Dragon. Baby Dragon's a baby. It would not. It would not have any intelligence whatsoever, and yeah, it also is sheltered inside a kingdom, so it doesn't really get to see any battles going on. Probably doesn't have a lot of experience. Low elo, free spell, cannot play the game. Which I feel like would be a pro player. Actually, no, similarly to Wizard, I feel like she might, care more about raising the skeletons and stuff like that than actually playing a game. But I feel like if she were to get on an iPhone and start playing, I feel like she'd be very good at the game. So high elo. Um, by the way, the pro players would be people that would like devote their lives to the game. Like high elo or people that'd be very good, but like pro players, they'd be going to tournaments. They would like leave the kingdom to actually go and play. Prince, Prince, I mean, I don't think he'd be allowed to really leave the kingdom to go play in tournaments and stuff, but he'd definitely be high elo. If he devoted his life to playing, he could get 14,000 plus trophies. Balloon. I'm gonna say the balloon. Well, Lumberloon actually. Lumberloon, he's gonna get high elo because if he could just play Lumberloon the entire time, he'd probably get to a really good rank. But then Lumberloon, I don't know if it's really used in pro matches, but then like people have a lot of counters to Lumberloon, and he probably can't do much. Giant Skeleton, similarly to the Giant, I mean, doesn't seem like the smartest guy. Plus, he'd also be carrying the bomb on his back everywhere. And if it touches anything, I think it explodes. So I don't even know if he could really. I don't know if he'd want to use his strength to hold a phone with one hand and play. Lightning Spell, Expo, they cannot play the game. Pekka's like a mother. She'd be too busy watching over Mini Pekka. I don't think she would really care about playing Clash Royale. So low elo. Golem is a menace. Golem is a straight menace. Um, yeah, honestly, I could see Golem doing something where like he plays outrageous decks, but they're not gonna go that far. So he's probably like, oh my god, why can't like a Mega Knight P.E.K.K.A Golem deck work? It's not working for me. So he'd probably be mid elo. He'd probably just get lucky with some of the people that just are bad at the game or just blatantly don't care enough to actually like want to win. So he'd be mid elo. Royal Giant is very smart. Um, he'd have to communicate with somebody because his fingers can't touch an iPhone or anything. So he'd be more like a coach, but I feel like he'd be like a pro coach, you know? Three Musketeers. Well, if the Musketeers high elo, the Three Musketeers would be even better. Um, yeah, they'd all be pro players. Dark Prince. I feel like Dark Prince would also be a menace. Um, yeah, he'd be a high elo menace. Yeah, nothing much to say that. Poison Spell can't play. Princess. Princess is, let's see. I think Princess would be high elo. Maybe she tells the king like, "Hey, I wanna play Clash Royale like every now and then her father gets mad." But high elo definitely. Ice Wizard definitely knows what's up. Very meta. But he can't really touch anything or else it freezes. So he'd have to coach somebody. But honestly though, he seems like he's on the older side, so maybe he might be mid elo. Yeah. Fire Spirit can't play; it would explode. Furnace. I mean, the Furnace also can't play because every once in a while he's going to give birth to a Fire Spirit who would just explode and break whatever electronic he's playing. And I don't know if he can even talk. You know, I don't know if I don't think spirits can communicate, so they can't really coach anybody. Guards. Guards, I think, would be high elo, but they can't be pro players because they have to be tending to other duties. And I don't think they'd really want to leave the kingdom because they get the special role of being a guard. So why would they want to leave? Um, the miner. Oh, the miner's a pro player, 1,000%. Um, the only problem is that I don't think the miner, even though he's a pro player, right, he's the most meta card in the game. All the pro players use him. It's that like I don't know if he necessarily want to be a pro player for the rest of his life. Honestly, he enjoys what he does, so I don't think he want to leave the coal mines or anything. Um, so I'd say he's a high elo player, but definitely he would not want to go pro. Not in the slightest. Sparky, uh, I mean, I don't even think Sparky could play. Doesn't have hands and can't communicate. Um, Lava Hound. Okay, Lava Hound would probably be low elo. The Lava Hound's really slow. You gotta have fast reaction time, man. Like, what are you doing? Spirit, not can't play the game. Bowler. Okay, bowler. He devotes his life to bowling, which is a sport. So if he's into sports, he's probably into other hobbies. He could probably get really, really into Clash Royale. But I wouldn't say he's a pro player because similarly to the miner, he probably loves bowling a lot more than playing video games. So because of that, I don't know. He'd probably be just a high elo player. Log can't play. Okay, so you have a raging alcoholic. He'd probably win a few games, but then get really, really angry, drink a bit of rage, and then just break his phone and possibly hurt people. So mid elo. Snow Golem, I don't think the Snow Golem can play. I don't think he can talk or anything. And yeah, I think it would just melt. I think if he held a phone, he would melt. And then the thing when you get water on your phone and it starts like messing up, that's exactly what would happen. He realistically can't play. I feel bad. Mega Minion. Mega Minion's a straight menace. Mega Minion is definitely a pro player. Yeah, it might be a bit chunkier, right? Might have his fingers might be a bit too big. But give him a mouse, he could definitely hold a mouse in his hand, and yeah, he's gonna be a crazy Clash Royale player. Inferno Dragon has, he's been kind of kept inside the kingdom the entire time. He probably doesn't have a lot of battle IQ. It'd probably be difficult to hold a mouse, so I'd probably put him at mid elo. But he's smarter than the baby dragon because he's older. At least I think he is. Graveyard spell can't really play. I mean, the skeletons can play for him, but the graveyard itself just can't. E-barbs are definitely high elo. I mean, they probably they have that little bromance going on, but if they could both get into Clash Royale, they'd both probably be obsessed with it and help each other out in every way possible. High elo. Tornado clone can't do anything. Electro Wizard, um, Electro Wizard seems a bit of like an oddball. It seems definitely on the older side. I'd say he's probably mid elo, and maybe every now and then he like does his electro thing and like breaks the phone or shuts it off, which would be annoying. So mid elo. Goblin Gang. Honestly, I'd probably say mid elo because I feel like the spear goblins are better than the regular goblins, and they'd probably be trying to coach the regular goblins, and then the regular goblins would be like, "Shut up, I don't want to hear it." So probably from a clash, no pun intended, of ideals, they'd just be mid elo. They'd probably not be able to go super far. The Dark Goblin super meta. I don't know. I mean, I assume he can look through the mask and stuff like that. He'd probably be high elo. Battering Ram can't play. Executioner, I mean, his job is to execute certain cards, right? I feel like the Executioner would definitely want to quit his job to go be a Clash Royale pro, right? If he's great at killing cards, he would definitely know the best counters to everything. Bats would probably be low elo. I mean, they'd have to use their wings to type, which I don't think would be the most effective thing ever. Or not type, to just swipe and a click on a mouse. So yeah, they'd probably be low elo. Spirit, can't touch it, would die. Bandit might just steal my iPhone or laptop, but if she uses her own stuff, um, oh no, you have to. She has some good utility. She probably know how to use her own card pretty well. She'd probably be mid elo. Night Witch, Night Witch is probably low elo. I mean, she's never used anymore, right? So she doesn't have any battle experience because no one's using her. And she probably would just be too busy taming to her bats to actually do anything. Skeleton Barrel can't play. It would just break, and then that's it. Flying Machine. I mean, it would have to literally go up and down on a keyboard or something. I don't know. It cannot play the game. Cannon Cart can't play the game. Mega Knight technically can't play the game because it has maces for hands. And if it did, I'm pretty sure he would be banned because no one would want him. Everyone would mass report the Mega Knight, and then he wouldn't be able to play anymore. Zappies can't play. Barbaro can't play. Hunter's good at hunting things. He's a bit on the older side, so I think it would take him a long time to actually learn the technology. But once he does, he's going in high elo. I don't think he'd have the dexterity to be a pro player, but he could definitely get 14,000 trophies or something. Royal Ghost, same thing. But honestly, the Royal Ghost, legitimately, not only would it be hard for him to hold a phone, but like he wouldn't even know what an iPhone is. He'd have a very difficult time. He's getting low elo. Magic Archer. Magic Archer is literally the most, probably one of, if not the highest skill card in the game. He is, whenever he is used by people, whenever he's actually in the battlefield, he has to be utilized in a very effective way. So he's a pro player, right? He knows the meta. He knows exactly in and out how to be used. He could definitely play other cards like a fiddle. Pro player, definitely. Rascals, Rascals, I feel like they'd be mid elo. I mean they are on the younger side, and I don't know, just something about them. I don't think they'd really get very far. Snowball can't play. Royal Recruits, there's 7 of them, so they could definitely be effective. I don't even think they could see through that mask of theirs. And even still, Royal Recruits do not get you far. So if they decided to play themselves, I mean, oh no. Actually, no. Royal recruits do get you very far, but they're so no skill. You know what I mean? They're probably going to use himself like as the first card, and then realize they have no elixir. I don't know. Royal Hogs, I don't really think they could play the game. I mean, they might be able to use the mouse to point and click, so I'd give them low elo. Yeah. Goblin Giant. a goblin giant can get coached by the other spear goblins, and in fact, like he can also help coach the spear goblins as well. He could just give his phone to one of the goblins on his back. So I feel like if spear goblins by themselves would be able to become pro players, I'm sure a goblin giant, spear goblins on his back constantly coaching him, I think he'd also be a pro player. Electro Dragon, as long as he doesn't shut anything off every time he touches something, which I feel like the Electro Dragon can control his electricity. Mid Elo, similarly to the Inferno Dragon, I think he stays with the Electro Wizard, so he probably doesn't go outside much and sees things. He's not used often. But yeah, I feel like he might be able to go somewhat far. Ram Rider, I could definitely see being high Elo. Um, yeah, I mean, similarly to the Hog Rider, like she probably would not want to like leave her Ram and stuff like that. But I feel like she might be a bit more dedicated to playing Clash Royale. Wall breakers can't play the game. I mean, the second they put their barrel down, they're gonna explode. Earthquake can't play. Goblin cage. I mean, if you give him a cell phone, if you give the goblin in the goblin cage a cell phone, and he devotes his entire life to it, up until that he's finally free from that prison, I feel like he could be a real menace. As long as his crime wasn't so bad that like he would never be allowed inside a tournament, I feel like he could go really far. If it's just him alone with an iPhone, he'll make it. Fisherman, I feel like he'd be way too dedicated to fishing to actually want to do anything. Plus, he's on the older side, low elo. Elixir Golem just can't play. I don't even think he can communicate. Anything he touches would just get stuck, so he'd be permanently holding down on an iPhone or mouse. Battle Healer, Battle Healer, I feel like would be probably high elo. She would probably just use herself to be in like a golem, elixir golem deck, and it would be annoying to deal with. But I mean, hey, I feel like she can make it far. And she probably have a lot of good patience. Since she's a healer, she doesn't seem to be very like angry. She would not get tilted at all, and not being tilted is what would get her into high elo. Firecracker would be so annoying to deal with. Firecracker would only be high elo because she would use the most annoying decks and get away with them. I'm talking about like Royal Recruits and Royal Hogs decks. And she would win, but not because she's good, because she's using just the dumbest, most brain dead decks. Royal Delivery can't play, it's just a box. Skeleton Dragons, there's two of them, so they could talk to each other. I don't exactly know where they go. They might just be in the King's Dungeon, I'm pretty sure. But they can communicate with each other, they'd be fine. I don't know if they go outside much and see many battles, so I'd give them mid elo. Electro Spirit can't do anything. Electro Giant, I mean, he might be able to talk to some other, people to coach, but if he holds anything, it's going to get electrocuted immediately. But if he was like a coach, I'd say he'd probably be in the mid elo because if he has to use himself in a deck, like I don't know, Electro Giant is not meta. He's not meta at all. He's probably not going to know much. Mother Witch, Mother Witch is just so old. So old, she would not be able to play well whatsoever. She'd be like, "What's this?" And then that's it. Goblin Drill, it's a drill it can't play. Golden Knight, you already know, probably the best player in the whole game. As long as he really, really cares about playing, which I think he would, because he's so obsessed with himself, he would love playing Golden Knight over and over and over again, just winning with him. Archer Queen is way too busy to be doing anything else. Um, Maybe she'll play like once a month and like win a few games, but she's too busy taming to the kingdom to actually do anything. Skeleton King, I mean, he could just get his subjects to play for him, his skeletons. But if he had to play himself, I feel like it'd be the same thing mid elo. Plus, he doesn't go out much, so he probably doesn't see much battling going on. Mighty Miner's not going to care at all about Clash Royale. He's going to be way too busy in the coal mines, so low elo. Phoenix, probably low elo, not used much at all, would have no battle IQ because there's no experience, and to actually hold the mouse, you'd have to be like this, so be very bad. Monk is like 1,000 years old, like thousands upon thousands of years old. Similarly to the Royal Ghost, not good, just low elo. You'd have to teach me how to do everything. Little Prince would play the most annoying deck and somehow do well. Um, because he's a snob and he's a young boy. He probably enjoys video games, and he probably uses like Royal Hogs Royal Recruit similarly to Firecracker. He's gonna get a high elo, but he has no skill. Let's be honest. Void Spell can play. Goblin Berserker can play because the Firecrackers are split everywhere. Uh, Goblin Curse. Goblin Machine, pro player. If he can like build machines and stuff like that, he could definitely build a deck. That's the most meta thing ever. He's extremely intelligent. Pro player. Come on, man. Suspicious Bush, it's just a bush. It can't play anything. Goblin Stein, also extremely intelligent. He's gonna be way too busy taming to his monster to actually do anything though. So I'd say he's probably high elo, but can't devote his life to playing Clash Royale. Rune Giant. Rune Giant could honestly boost the intelligence of whatever card she's coaching. So she'd probably be high elo. Berserker, I don't know. I think Berserker would crash out after the first game and just snap the phone in half. Boss Bandit would realistically steal the iPhone, but if she had to play, low elo. Everyone hates her. Maybe mid elo because she could just play herself and just spam her ability to death and win. I don't know. Spirit Empress, I don't know enough about the Spirit Empress. I think she'd be mid elo. I don't know. No one really uses her, but I think she's smart enough to beat a few people. Vine Spell can't play. Every single tower troop, if they devote their lives to playing Clash Royale, which they might, because they could probably reason with the king, like, oh, like I've been your noble servant, tower servant for years. Like, can I just have this one tournament? This one dream of mine to play Clash Royale. Yes, and the reason why they're all gonna be pro is because they have seen everything. They sit on the top of their tower every single day. They see every fight that goes on. They know the meta inside and out. They know every single counter. They watch everything unfold. They are used in every single game, basically. So they're pro players. The Evos, I do not think the Evos change anything. Yeah, no, the Evos would not change anything about them. Um, well, maybe the Royal Ghost, because he could have his guards help him. His guards could assist him or take his phone, right? So maybe mid elo instead of low elo. Um, Yeah, that's it. And then I guess heroes, if the heroes had to change anything. Well, the heroes actually, hold on. The heroes are super meta. Everyone hates them, so I think they'd be banned from tournaments. But they are so meta that everyone's using them. So they'd have a lot of IQ. Um, Actually, no, I gotta give it to them. No, they are used so often now. They would know the meta inside out. They're all pro players except for the hero giant because he's not used at all, basically. So yeah, that is my tier list for what Clash Royale cards would be good at playing Clash Royale. If you guys have any opposing views or any agreements or anything, or any thoughts, let me know in your comments down below. But as per usual, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as it would truly help me out a lot. And I'm looking to post like every single day at 6 p.m. And I'd love it if I could see growth in my channel. So thank you all. I hope you all have a great day. Take care.